Welcome back to Freedomfully. Today we're talking about something that every retiree dreams of, but not everyone achieves. That feeling of true freedom in retirement. Research shows that only about 60% of retirees report feeling satisfied with their retirement. But here's the encouraging news. The habits that create that sense of freedom and fulfillment can be learned and developed at any age. Today, I'm sharing 7 specific habits that consistently show up in the lives of the happiest, most fulfilled retirees. These aren't complicated or expensive. They're simple daily practices that can transform how you experience this chapter of your life. First, let's talk about why habits become so crucial in retirement. For decades, your work schedule provided structure to your days. You had meetings, deadlines, and responsibilities that organized your time. In retirement, that external structure disappears. Suddenly, you have complete freedom over your time. And for many people, that's actually overwhelming. Without intentional habits, days can feel aimless and weeks can blur together. But here's what's fascinating. Research in neuroscience shows that positive habits actually create neural pathways that support well-being and life satisfaction. When you establish good habits, you're literally rewiring your brain for happiness. Habits also preserve your mental energy for the things that matter most. When healthy behaviors become automatic, you don't have to use willpower to maintain them. That frees up your mental resources for creativity, relationships, and new experiences. The retirees I know who feel most free and fulfilled have developed what I call freedom habits. Daily practices that create structure while preserving spontaneity, that maintain health while allowing indulgence, and that provide purpose while leaving playroom. The first habit is starting each day with intention. This doesn't mean rigid scheduling. It means taking a few minutes each morning to consciously choose how you want to spend your day. This might look like journaling for 5 minutes, reviewing your priorities over coffee, or simply asking yourself, what would make today feel meaningful? The key is creating a moment of conscious choice, rather than just drifting into the day. Studies show that people who start their day with intentional practices report higher life satisfaction and feel more in control of their lives. It's not about being productive in the traditional sense. It's about being purposeful. Some retirees write 3 things they're grateful for. Others set one small goal for the day. Some simply spend 5 minutes in quiet reflection. The specific practice matters less than the consistency of creating that intentional start. Here's what I love about this habit. It creates structure without rigidity. You're not committing to a packed schedule. You're just committing to starting each day as a conscious choice rather than an accident. The second habit is moving your body every single day. Notice I didn't say exercise. I said move. This isn't about intense workouts or gym memberships. It's about honoring your body's need for movement. Daily movement is perhaps the single most important thing you can do for your physical and mental health in retirement. It maintains bone density, improves balance, boosts mood, and can even help prevent cognitive decline. This might be a 20-minute walk around the neighborhood, gentle stretching while watching the news, dancing to your favorite music, or working in the garden. The key is consistency, not intensity. Here's why this creates freedom. When you maintain your physical health, you preserve your ability to do the things you love. You can travel, play with grandchildren, pursue hobbies, and maintain independence longer. I know some of you might be thinking, but I have arthritis, or I'm not in good shape. That's exactly why gentle daily movement is so important. Start where you are, with what you can do. Even 5 minutes of movement is better than none. Consider making movement social. Walk with a friend, join a Tai Chi class, or try water aerobics. This combines physical activity with social connection, which brings us to our next habit. The third habit is nurturing relationships intentionally. Retirement can be isolating if you don't make a conscious effort to maintain and build social connections. Research consistently shows that strong social connections are one of the biggest predictors of happiness and longevity. People with strong social ties live longer, have better mental health, and report higher life satisfaction. This habit might look like calling one friend or family member each week, scheduling regular coffee dates, joining clubs or volunteer organizations, or simply being more intentional about quality time with your spouse or partner. Don't underestimate the power of technology for maintaining relationships. Video calls with distant grandchildren, social media groups for shared interests, or online communities can all provide meaningful connection. Retirement is also a great time to build new relationships. Take classes, join hobby groups, volunteer for causes you care about. Shared activities and interests are natural relationship builders. Remember, this isn't about being social all the time. It's about being intentional about the relationships that matter to you. Quality connections are more important than quantity. The fourth habit is learning something new regularly. This keeps your mind sharp, provides a sense of accomplishment, and opens up new possibilities for enjoyment and connection. Neuroscience research shows that learning new skills actually creates new neural pathways and can help prevent cognitive decline. It's like exercise for your brain. This doesn't mean going back to school, though you certainly could. It might be learning to use new technology, trying a new recipe each week, reading books on topics you've never explored, or taking up a new hobby. The key is keeping it enjoyable and low pressure. This isn't about achievement or mastery. It's about curiosity and growth. Learn a few words in a new language, try watercolor painting, or explore your family genealogy. Think of learning as adventure rather than work. What have you always been curious about but never had time to explore? Retirement gives you the gift of time to follow your curiosity wherever it leads. Consider sharing what you learn with others. Teaching or mentoring can be incredibly fulfilling and help solidify your own learning. Plus, it's a great way to build new relationships. The fifth habit is practicing gratitude daily. This might sound simple, but it's one of the most powerful habits for creating a sense of abundance and contentment in retirement. Decades of research show that people who regularly practice gratitude are happier, more optimistic, and even healthier. They sleep better, have stronger immune systems, and report higher life satisfaction. This doesn't require a complicated practice. It might be writing 3 things you're grateful for each morning, sharing appreciations with your spouse over dinner, or simply taking a moment to notice something beautiful each day. The magic is in noticing the small things: the taste of your morning coffee, a phone call from a friend, the way sunlight comes through your window. Retirement gives you time to notice these moments that you might have rushed past when you were working. Gratitude is especially powerful during challenging times. It doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It means training your brain to notice what's working alongside what isn't. Consider expressing gratitude to others regularly. Write thank you notes, tell people specifically what you appreciate about them, or volunteer for causes that matter to you. Expressing gratitude creates positive connections and spreads joy. The sixth habit is creating and maintaining routines that you actually love. This is different from the rigid schedules you might have had during your working years. These are routines that bring you joy and comfort. Maybe it's reading the newspaper with your morning coffee, taking an evening walk, having a weekly phone call with your sister, or spending Sunday mornings in the garden. Think of these routines as anchor points in your week. They provide structure and something to look forward to, while leaving plenty of room for spontaneity and new experiences. Allow your routines to evolve with the seasons and your changing interests. What brings you joy in winter might be different from what you love in summer. The key is staying attuned to what feels good and adjusting accordingly. There's an important difference between a routine and a rut. A routine is something you choose because it adds value to your life. A rut is something you do out of habit, without thinking about whether it still serves you. If you don't have routines you love, start small. Add one small thing to your day that brings you pleasure. Maybe it's listening to music while you make breakfast, or spending 10 minutes on the porch with your coffee. The seventh and final habit is contributing to something beyond yourself. This gives your retirement a sense of purpose and meaning that goes beyond personal enjoyment. Studies consistently show that people who feel they have a sense of purpose live longer, have better mental health, and report higher life satisfaction. Purpose doesn't have to be grand. It just has to be meaningful to you. This might be volunteering for a cause you care about, mentoring young people in your former profession, helping neighbors, participating in community organizations, or using your skills to help others. Think about the skills and knowledge you've accumulated over your lifetime. How can you share these gifts with others? Maybe you're good with finances and could help people with budgeting, or you love gardening and could teach others. Contribution doesn't have to be formal or time-consuming. It might be as simple as being the neighbor who checks on others, the grandparent who really listens, or the person who always has an encouraging word. When you contribute to something beyond yourself, you're creating a legacy that goes beyond material possessions. You're making the world a little better and finding meaning in the process. These 7 habits, starting with intention, moving daily, nurturing relationships, learning continuously, practicing gratitude, creating loving routines, and contributing to others form the foundation of a retirement that truly feels like freedom. Remember, you don't need to implement all 7 habits at once. Choose one that resonates with you and focus on that for a few weeks until it becomes natural. Then add another. Here's the beautiful paradox. These habits create structure that actually increases your freedom. When you have healthy habits as your foundation, you're free to be spontaneous, to take risks, and to fully enjoy this amazing chapter of your life. Which of these habits speaks to you most? What would you add to this list? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more retirement wisdom. Until next time, keep building those freedom habits fully.